Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Monday morning. Glad you are here on this day. We're talking about Bullard High School and some other topics with one of the school board members. Actually, he's the president of the Fresno Unified School Board, and we'll talk to him about what's going on at that district. 436 MeTV Option 11. Dr. Thomas Casagrande is your sponsor today. 2020 Optometrics.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Glad you're here on the program. Monday morning, it is Connect with me on MeTV Fresno. Hope you had a great weekend and a great Mother's Day weekend, and happy Mother's Day belated to every mother out there. Of course, here in Fresno County and every other county that gets us, and we go up to Merced and all the way to Los Banos and down into North Bakersfield. So all those people watching this morning, happy belated Mother's Day. Hey, by the way, programming note tomorrow, got a great business segment on. We're going to talk a little bit about the Fulton Street that's opening up in downtown Fresno. We have a business owner that has a storefront just a few feet away, and he'll talk about the reconstruction. He'll talk about his business. He's a first-time guest. That will be tomorrow, and we'll talk about the guests later this week on tomorrow's program. Meantime, you're watching us live on Comcast Channel 375 as usual. It's Monday through Friday, a live call-in show 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning. You know the number by now. Comcast 375, but it's 43.6 and 13.1 over-the-air broadcast with a digital television antenna. Then later in the day, if you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 13.6. U2 is your replay. It replays again at 8 o'clock tonight, 4.6 Biz TV. After that, these stay up on YouTube, and guess what? You know, I found out even if you wanted to, you can't take these things down off YouTube. It's like impossible. It's like you have a better chance of flying to the moon and pulling one of these shows down off of YouTube. It's incredible. Hey, today's program, we're talking about Bullard High School. We're talking about the Fresno Unified School District, and we're also talking about Michael Hansen, the guy who's no longer there. It's amazing. He's no longer there, and we're still talking about him, but I want to refresh your memory. It was about this same time a year ago that a graduating student at Bullard High School was not allowed to give the commencement speech, I should say, commencement speech at Bullard High, the one that he wrote. It was too controversial. The Fresno Bee picked up the commencement speech. The student, by the way, his name was Gregory Weaver. He graduated from Bullard High, went on, and now he's going to Stanford. I want to roll the videotape, show you exactly what I'm talking about. So now, a year later, what has changed? That is the question I have now. That is the big sign out there at Bullard High School and the construction. The transformation of Bullard High in Fresno is a sight to behold. There's no question about that, all right? Nobody's questioning that. Driving by on Palm Avenue can be a chore for some, and most times I try to avoid it because of all the dust that goes around there, and I don't want to get my car dirty either. This is the scene outside the front of the high school. You may not recognize it. It looks like a huge construction site. In fact, it is. With a cyclone fence in front, there is limited parking as well. It will change, though, shortly. Change the videotape, go to the next one. In his speech published by the Fresno Bee last June, he acknowledged the incredible transformation. I'm talking about Gregory Weaver, but also he worried about the failed promises of the former and now fired superintendent Michael Hansen. Weaver wondered about the feeder programs. He wondered about Hansen's grand old plan of Northwest Fresno, such as school uniforms, stronger discipline, gate classes that didn't require busing, a real working law magnet, and a smaller class size around campus. Weaver said he saw students cheating on tests, even teachers that gave out the answers before the tests were given. He witnessed 4 fights within a month. Teachers were routinely told to F off, my friends. Yet the district, he said, discounted suspensions and expulsions. Weaver wrote, and I quote now, "Even as the buildings of Bullard High undergo a mass renovation, the achievement gap inside the classrooms between white students and students of color is as wide as ever. I wonder what will become of Bullard High as its and its feeder schools a decade from now. Weaver also pointed to a new national study at the time that found young adults in Fresno are among the most ill-prepared and disconnected in the entire nation, with no job skills and no education. Last week, I met with the principal at Bullard High as I drove around the campus in a golf cart taking videos for this program. In fact, the one that you see here, we will show you all those videos and talk to our guest, including the principal, with an interview on tape. Live in our studio right now is Brooke Ashjian. He's here to answer some tough questions. He is a Fresno County or Fresno Unified School Board member. He's the president. He's representing the Bullard High School School District. You might recall when I first started this program 5 years ago, Michelle Azadorian held his seat. She was one of my first guests on this program and talked about all the problems. But now, keep in mind, Michael Hansen is gone. There could be changes. There's a new high school being built right on campus. It is a beautiful school. It's expanding. I was on campus. It's crowded. They have about 2,500 students. We'll talk to Brooke about what some of those changes are in a positive way for Bullard High School. 436 MeTV option 11. Back after this from Thomas Casagrande, our 2020 sponsor today. At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
All right, my friends, glad you're here. Don't forget the telephone number. You know by now by heart after 5 years, right? 436-MeTV option 11, although that number has changed a couple of times. But you know it by now. Brooke Ashjian is here. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good,
to
I'm well.
See you.
Thank you.
All right, so we all know about the commencement speech last week. I couldn't get that word out. You know, it's Monday morning, my friend.
I know.
Monday mornings are hard to deal with when it comes to your mouth and your enunciation and everything working. It's difficult. But the commencement speech last year, that kind of sticks in everybody's mind, but still things are moving rapidly at Bullard High. By August, it'll look like a new school.
Well, outside it will look like a new school, and inside, John, it's going to look like a new school. We have instituted, we've completely revamped the Law Magnet program, and it is revolutionary. It's and evolutionary, so it's moving in great leaps and bounds. It will be. You watch in the next 2 to 3 years, you will see Bullard High School will be the #1 school for mock trial, for speech, for debate, for forensics, all through this Law Magnet program. It's incredible what the community's done, what our principal Carlos Castillo has done, and what our administration staff that I've instructed them on what the expectation is, and they look like they're going to clear the bar.
I want to roll the videotape outside courtroom. We'll take you outside, first of all, to see what the building looks like. I took this videotape here last Wednesday or Thursday it was. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids on campus. It seems like it's kind of a lot of people in a crowded, smaller space, but once it's done, it will expand. There will be more space out there. This is the outside of the building. And at some point, I do want to get out of this video here and take you inside. We'll show the 3 photos of the courtroom as well. So this is the Law Magnet. Why did this program come back?
Well, it came back because I made it come back.
This was your doing.
This was absolutely my doing. I ran on the premise that they took a Law Magnet program, they pumped in $3 million 8 years ago.
That's the inside of the courtroom right there.
Correct. It's amazing. And the superintendent walked away. and they didn't have curriculum. They didn't do anything. They just
Why?
they just walked away from it because that's just some of the ways that Fresno Unified used to do business. And so when I first got on the board, they were having Spanish class in there and eating lunch. That's what they used that building for.
You're kidding me.
No, it's a $3.5–4 million building. So I said, we will fix this. And so I instructed staff and the superintendent and gave them the marching orders. I want this fixed, and I want it fixed now. And they did. And they've done an incredible job revamping the curriculum and rebooting the system. Not only have we done this, I don't know if Carlos told you, but we revamped this program here, the Law Magnet program, but we've got the state superintendent, Tom Torlakson, coming tomorrow. And Wednesday, we're going to have a huge announcement at Bullard. The
The superintendent of the
state of California,
state of
Tom
California.
Torlakson, will be here
tomorrow at Bullard High tomorrow.
He will be in meetings tomorrow, and on Wednesday, we will have a groundbreaking, revolutionary event that's never happened before. The Assimi family has built a pharmaceutical college here in Fresno. In 2020, they're going to have a medical school here. We teamed with their medical school, and we designed curriculum to align with them. And because they've approved our curriculum, they have reserved 20 seats for Bullard High School and Fresno Unified kids as the rest of the schools build their curriculum. There's 20 seats that are saved for those kids in that school. It's amazing what's
Is that
happened.
part of the pathway program?
It's absolutely part of the Biomed Pathway program at Bullard High School. It's incredible. It's revolutionary. It's so revolutionary that the state superintendent of California, Tom Torlakson, will be here Wednesday to announce it. And
Wow.
it's announced here on your show first. Nobody's talked about that.
Okay, so that's part of the pathway program. The other part of the pathway program we just talked about it, the court system, the law.
Yep.
Kids who are interested in law, they actually haven't. Take one more shot of the photo of the inside of the courtroom here. That first one. There it is, right there. Keep that up just for a moment there, because you will have actual judges that are sitting judges on the bench now. Actual live attorneys come in and teach these students how the courtroom operates. Am I right?
100%. And our current district attorney, Lisa Smitkamp, has offered her services and her team to come in and help us as well. So what they will learn there, they're not necessarily learning how to be a lawyer, but if
They're learning how the judicial process works.
they're learning part of that as well. But they're more importantly than all of that combined, if they don't go to law school, if they're not going to be a paralegal or go into that type of field, they're learning speech, they're learning debate, they're learning how to research topics, they're learning how to speak in public. All of the life skills that you need to operate.
Will they have mock trials in there?
Absolutely.
Okay, there's a third program that's part of the pathway program. Not only the medical side of it, but there's the law side of it, but there's another program as well. Am I right? There are 3 programs to the pathway?
Well, there is a business administration with a marketing, business, entrepreneurship component. We really haven't defined what it is yet.
Right.
We're working out our steps. All of these things, you can put a label on anything and say this is what it is. But unless it really, walks like a duck and talks like a duck, then if it doesn't do those things, then it's not a duck. And we've done that for too long. We've said, oh, here's what we're going to do. And then we walk away from it, and then it doesn't do that. And we say, well, the program really didn't work. Well, those days are over.
I talked to a prominent local attorney about this pathway program, and they said, oh, they're bringing that back. Yeah, that was really kind of a failed program. Do you think the perception out there is that it was a failed program before, and now it's being brought back?
I think you're being kind in saying it was a failed program. I think it was a disaster. I think it was a terrible disaster.
Because
they didn't follow through. They wrote a check. They built a building. They allowed a PE teacher to design the curriculum and gave him $250,000 to design the curriculum that he had no business doing. He or she had no business doing, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And
there was no guidance, no leadership?
Zero.
And what's going to be different about it now?
Well, we've got a lot of community leaders that are participating in this program, but we've
Smith Camp for one.
yeah, well, and she's a very small partner. We've got Judge Ishii, federal judge, who put this together. We got Judge Kohlers, Mark Kohlers, who used to be a United States attorney that ran the U.S. Attorney's Office here. I mean, all of these people put in all this time and effort, and our staff at Bullard has completely committed to this program. It's going to be, you watch. I'm telling you, in the next 2 years, you're going to start seeing a lot of medals and a lot of awards.
Was this Michael Hansen's idea to trash this program?
I don't know.
Or was he a part of it?
I don't even want to mention that was yesterday. How it happened or where we got there, it could have been, it might not have been. The reality is that today's a new day, and even the vibe inside Fresno Unified is 100% different. We've moved the needle, John, more in the last 120 days than I've been on this board in 2 years, than I've seen this board move in 5 or 6 years. It's incredible the moves that we're making.
All right, before we go to break here, I do want to run a piece of videotape. It's got sound on it here. It's called the Pathway Program. 3 programs involved, specifically, of course, the law program. If you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a paralegal, and you're still in high school and you're starting out, this is a great program. I guess it's going to be a good program. It'll be much different according to Brooke Ashjian and also the principal out there, Carlos Castillo. Funded in a different way, and also different people going to be involved. Talking about Lisa Smith Camp, attorneys, judges. This is the Pathway Program announcement. It was a press conference. Here it is. Listen to it.
Today, Bullard High School, along with many supporters standing behind me, are thrilled to announce with the start of the 2017-2018 school year, we are relaunching the Bullard High School Law and Social Justice Pathway. Over the last few months, more than a dozen local partners have been gathering with us here at Bullard, serving as our advisory committee and assisting us in relaunching a sustainable program, rich in content, experiences, and opportunities for all students, and their partnership is just the beginning.
Any student interested in learning about the legal field, whether that be from the lens of a lawyer, a police officer, a forensic researcher, or a social worker, will now have the opportunity to engage in that world daily, opening their eyes to the experiences and careers that many of them never recognized before, or maybe even acknowledged were part of the law pathway. And the wonderful thing about this specific pathway is that it provides the clarity that CTE is not just grounded in vocational education. Sometimes CTE terminates in a graduate degree, such as a Juris Doctorate.
This Law Magnet program is more than a Law Magnet program. If your student, or if a student involved in this program comes into this program, they learn how to speak, they learn how to debate, they learn how to do forensics, they learn all of these great fields, and all of the technology that goes with them.
This program is really the first step in ensuring for our future, our next generation, really good lawyers and really good individuals in the legal community, which benefits not only the judiciary, but our entire community. So I commend all of you for this.
It's an exciting time for Fresno Unified and our entire community, and I look forward to seeing this program flourish as we start the brand new school year in August.
All right, the Pathway Program at Fresno State. Before I go to break, Brooke, guarantee me it's going to be different this time with Pathway.
You know, the only thing I can tell you is that Earl Shub used to say, "I guarantee it." Right? Wasn't he the guy that said that?
Yeah.
Or was it Mac Lazarus? I was standing on my head to make it.
No, I thought it was
right?
the guy at the
whoever it was.
The guy, the suits.
There you go.
The warehouse guy.
The warehouse guy. I guarantee it. I promise you, it's different. I promise you that.
Yeah, Men's Warehouse.
There it is.
I guarantee it.
There it is. George Zimmer.
George Zimmer. All right. So you're pulling a George Zimmer on me.
I am.
All right. All right. Brooke Ashjian guarantees it. If you want to be an attorney, go out to Bullard High School and check it out. Their Pathway Program. Talk to the principal. 436-MeTV option 11. Certainly a lot more to get to. We're running out of time already. Back in a moment after this from 2020 Optometrics.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery Range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today. Okay, back here on the program, 436 Me TV, option 11. I think I said Fresno State. I meant Fresno Unified. Let's get back to Gregory Weaver just for a moment here, and I want you maybe to make up, make some other possible guarantees here, and that is Weaver said that he saw students cheating on tests, teachers giving out the answers before the tests. He witnessed fights. He witnessed students telling the teachers to F off. The district discounted suspensions and expulsions, and this is what Weaver wrote. Even as the buildings of Bullard High undergo a mass renovation, the achievement gap inside the classrooms between white students and students of color is as wide as ever. I wonder what Bullard's going to be like a decade from now. How's it going to be different?
Well,
Can it be different with it? Can it be different now that Hanson's gone?
It's 100% different. The vibe is different. Everything's different. So let's take each one of those in particular. Kids have been cheating on tests since you were in high school, John. I mean,
That was 100 years ago.
You have some kids that cheat, and you have some kids that don't cheat. I mean, hopefully, integrity will win the day. Fights on campus. We've had some fights on campus this year, and I can tell you that the principal there, zero tolerance. Carlos Castillo, zero tolerance. What did he do? He called the paddy wagon and sent him to juvenile hall.
Yeah.
Book him.
Yeah.
Send him.
Yeah.
We're not going to tolerate it. How are we dealing with student discipline? We are revamping student discipline to where those are not going to happen. I've said it, and I said it at the teacher summit, and I'll say it again here. If you hit a teacher, if you strike a teacher, it's one and done. You're done. You're
How about
out,
if you
you're out
say
of school.
F you or F off?
So those are other issues that we're dealing with, and at no point is ever that going to be acceptable. Never.
The gap in the classrooms between white and those of color?
It's terrible, and it's gotten worse.
Is it going to change?
Under the Superintendent Hanson's career here in Fresno Unified, it widened. It did not.
Why?
Lessen, because we haven't figured out how to address the African American issue within Fresno Unified. And so I've been working with Oliver Baines on this. I've been working with Cal Johnson on this. Do you know that in Fresno Unified we don't have one black principal? We don't have one black male principal. Because we don't have black male leadership really in Fresno Unified. We haven't attracted them to come work here. And so studies suggest, and research has proven, that peer-to-peer mentoring is where we're going to make the strides in that education gap. And we haven't figured it out yet. And our previous superintendent refused to address it. And we have to address it. We are addressing it. We've put together a task force. Shortly, we'll be going back east to try to attract more African American teachers to come here to help us with that gap. We've put into place some nonprofits to come and work at those schools after hours, before school. We've got to get into these kids' heads, and we've got to get into these kids' lives earlier. So the big program, the big push that we have happening, and we're going next Monday down to Riverside, and we're also going down to Long Beach, is we have this huge problem, bigger than the education gap that you just talked about in Fresno Unified. There's a bigger problem than that. We start with 5,000 freshmen. We graduate 1,500 seniors. So there's 1,500 kids that go somewhere. Some go to Clovis, some go to Central, some come in, some go out. But of that 1,500, there's 450 kids to 500 kids that we don't even know where they're at. We don't even know where they went. And so I'll tell you where they're at. They're in juvenile hall. They're robbing your house. They're selling drugs to that person. They are.
Are you talking about the African American kids?
I'm talking
about every kid.
I'm talking about every kid in particular, not just African American kids. There's 450 or 500 kids that we don't know where they went or where they're at, And so a kid gets to a junior in high school and he's got 100, or say he's got 50 units, and he needs 220 credits to graduate. We already know he's not going to make it. So we just keep putting him in classes.
But you have other groups, of course, in this unified school district of yours. You have African Americans, you have Hispanic, you have Hmong, other Asian groups, other minorities. There's a mix of a lot of people in there. You have Armenians.
Actually, inside Fresno Unified, the white population is a minority.
Right.
We're a
right.
minority.
So what problems are the African American students having, and why are they having those problems? And how do you rectify them? That's a three-part question.
What you're asking me probably is not enough time on this show to address. I think it's a variety of issues. It is the disintegration of the family is one. The parents, if there is two parents, the aunts, the uncles, the grandmothers, the grandfathers. I mean, the African American community, specifically in Fresno, has been fractured in a way that it's going to take a long time to try to fix. And the school is not the answer to fix it, although we can patch it, we can plug it.
But if you had more African American teachers and principals of some kind, they could use them as role models.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's what we're going after. And that has been neglected for way too long.
I know Bob Nelson is the interim superintendent.
Correct.
Is he on board with you on this?
He is. He's a great guy. He's a
Will
great
he
guy.
get the job permanently?
Who knows? There's going to be a lot of applicants, and we hired a search firm, and we've got community members at large that are going to be helping and assisting the board into funneling it down into 3 or 4 candidates, which we can hopefully pick. But it's a big job. This is a very, very big job, and it's a job that you have to care for, and you got to love kids, because if you don't, and if it's just a job, we're not going to move that needle.
All right. Weaver also pointed out that he found that a new national study, this was a year ago, don't forget, he found out that young adults here in Fresno are among the most ill-prepared, disconnected in the entire nation. No job skills, lack of education. That's not a Bullard problem. That's not a Fresno Unified problem. That's a Central Valley problem, according to him.
I haven't seen the study. I don't know. I can tell you that children and young men and young women that are coming through the system are not ready. We've given pathways.
Are they not reading? Is that why they're not ready?
So part of the problem is that my personal opinion. Let me just give you my personal opinion. My personal opinion is they live their lives through Instagram, through Facebook, through all of these Snapchat things, to where it's an illusionary type of state of living that they have. They take a picture next to a car and they send it out to all their friends, and they say, "Look at me, right? I'm a movie star. Or, I own this car." Well, when you go back to their house, they live in a 1-bedroom shack, and nobody's got a car in the family, right? We live in this world where it's a history or a system of illusion. And so as a result, why are they not ready? They're not ready because they're not applying themselves. They're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to put in the effort of homework, and they're not willing to lift themselves out of a situation through education, which is free in the state of California, which will free them of all of the problems or ills that poverty brings.
You know where it starts? It starts in reading.
Well,
reading solves a lot of things when it comes to education.
I think it's 2 things that will solve this problem, and unfortunately most people don't have those 2 things. It's called parents. You have to have parents, and parents have to be able to help children move ahead. And so as a result, if you think of it like this, the school system, you can drop your kid off early. We're going to feed you breakfast. We're going to take you through school. We're going to feed you lunch for free. We're going to give you social, emotional support. You can stay after school, no problem, till 5 o'clock. And if you have anything in between, you got to need a nurse, you know what, we're going to take care of it for you. The school system has been relegated the command of being the parent, and we've got to push that back to the parents. We got to push some of that back and say, no, we're not the parents. You're the parents. We're going to help you in this process, but you got to take back some of this control and ownership.
Quick email question here. Pathway program for law. This is from one of the viewers. Will new curriculum be incorporated, like bailiff, courtroom journalism, for court reporters that want to be court reporters? Will that all be included?
You know, I haven't seen the curriculum. I know it is brand new curriculum. I think that that's an excellent suggestion. My wife is a court reporter, went to school here, and made a lot of money prior to us having a family, and I think that that would be a great suggestion.
All right, Brooke Ashjian is here, president of the Fresno Unified School Board. 436 MeTV option 11 show you a lot more in terms of videos out there that I shot last week, and we'll hear from the principal as well. Back in just a moment.
The Justice Network is here. If you haven't tuned in, you're missing a great lineup of gripping stories of real crime, plus an unprecedented effort by viewers like you to play an active role in making your community safer. You can help support law enforcement by providing information that may lead to the apprehension of dangerous criminals or find a missing child. Great shows and your chance to fight crime, only on the Justice Network.
At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
We'll start off with a lot of the physical changes. First of all, we have a new library expansion that we are completing where we will have a new council. We'll start off with a lot of the physical changes. First of all, we have a new library expansion that we are completing where we will have a new counseling set up with a registrar and a library, a new computer lab set up for our students to be able to access information and get to their counselors and partake in career center activities, which is very, very exciting. As well as a new student store that's coming with that building. So that'll be a very, very nice improvement for Bullard High School. On the other side of that, just north of that building, we're gonna have a brand new admin building right off of Palm Avenue. So for years at Bullard, we had a classroom building that was an octagon shape named the W building or the Walker building. And most folks thought that that was the main office because it was right off of Palm. But now we'll have a brand new front office right off of Palm, brand new building with a lot of the same traditions that Bullard has had. We have a tradition of bricks and memorial plaques that are going to be replaced in a new area. So you'll have a lot of new with some of the old, and it'll be a very exciting time, I think, for Bullard. We've also completed 40 classroom upgrades. So we have 2 buildings, one called the Northwest and one called the Southwest Academic Building. And those buildings are for primarily mathematics, special education, and history. So we have 40 new classrooms on campus as well with this modernization project. And the inside of the school, we'll call the inner part, because we also have a quad, a brand new quad. So Bullard has a nice new quad. I think it's something, a very impressive quad. I quite haven't seen one in the Valley like the one we have with the raised amphitheater and the new stage for events in the quad. So we're gonna have a lot of space for our students at Bullard to kind of spread out during break times and during before school and after school. And of course, the academic piece. We are relaunching our law pathway. That's going to be an exciting thing because the pathway also makes way for a pipeline. So students at Bullard will have priority for Fresno City College to be able to sign up for a law pathway at Fresno City College. And if they want to, they go to city for 2 years, state for 2 years, and one of 6 institutions, including Loyola Marymount, USC, UC Riverside, UC Irvine, San Francisco University, or Santa Clara University. So that's a very, very exciting project that we have that we're revamping, and hopefully you'll be able to see some of our new courtroom. That's also kind of a very impressive thing to see. So we're excited about that.
All right, that was Carlos Castillo. He is the principal out there at Bullard High School. Got to go to this quick call here. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air with Brooke Ashjian.
I'll tell you what the problem is. It's real simple. It's called busing. When I heard they closed Edison High School, all those kids are now bused. I went to Edison. I graduated from Edison. We walked to school. They closed Edison High School, and all those kids are now standing in the morning waiting for a bus. After school, they got to wait for the bus. Edison High School used to be the neighborhood high school, and now they're all being bused. They just opened that Gaston Rutherford Junior High. I was so happy to hear that those children can now go to a junior high school. But guess what? Ninth grade, they're going to be waiting for the bus. Nobody. I can't even imagine getting up at 6 in the morning, standing out there waiting for a bus to take them across town, out of their neighborhoods. Bullard High School is a beautiful school, but that is out of their community. We need these children to go to their own school and not be bused. We need a high school on the west side. That's my opinion. When I heard they closed Edison High School, my first thought was, where are all these children going to school? They're being bused all over town. That's the problem, was closing Edison High School.
So I don't know
the
where
neighborhood high school.
So, ma'am,
That's
we did
all
not
I
close Edison High School. Edison High School is still open.
Yeah, Edison High School is
simple.
still open. I
Thank
don't know
you,
where you
John.
got that. What's that? Oh, she hung up. Okay. Yeah, Edison High is open for business.
Absolutely.
It has been.
Absolutely. Do we bus a lot of kids over to Edison Computech? Yeah, we send about 26, 28 buses there every day. Is that a problem? Probably so, because they've taken our best and brightest and they're moving them into Computech and then push them through Edison. And yeah, I mean, but their parents are going there because it's they think that that if they don't go there, they're not going to get a great education, which quite frankly just is not true.
Is busing a problem? Should we stop busing and just let kids go to their neighborhood schools?
Well, I'm a big believer in neighborhood schools, and I'm not going to go so far as should we stop busing or not stop busing. That's another topic for another day. But I can tell you that I believe that communities and children do better when you go to school with your friends. And so in Fresno Unified, you could have 5 houses lined up in a row, and all five kids of those 5 houses could go to 5 different schools.
Well, Michelle Azadorian, who was a guest here 5 years ago when all this started happening, she said that Bullard started going downhill when all this busing started.
When they were busing out of Bullard and taking it into Manchester Gate and then taking it into Edison Computech, they still do some of that. But so
is that when the downfall of Bullard began?
I don't know. I can't pinpoint it. All I can tell you is that you can't dictate, especially with Betsy DeVos coming on board, right? She's going to give charters and she's going to give vouchers of where they want to go, is where we think. Parents are going to be able to go where they want to go. So what you have to do is offer more choices. You go to good restaurants because they're good restaurants. You should be able to go to good schools because they're good schools. You shouldn't be stuck in a school that's terrible just because you're limited to go there. I think the way to attract people back to North Fresno is kind of like the business model that we're doing now at Bullard with the new Law Magnet program, with the new Biomed program. At Wawona, which you haven't talked about today, is that at Wawona Middle School, Wawona was sitting 50% empty. And I just instituted and directed staff and the superintendent, I want a dual immersion school to begin in the fall of 2017 and 2018 at Wawona School for TK and kindergarten kids. That means that your child shows up and speaks 100% English. First day of school, they get 90% of their instruction in Spanish.
I want to roll a videotape here. I want to roll up and call up Southwest Building. Let's do that one, that piece of video there. This is the Southwest Academic Building on the campus of Bullard High School at Fresno Unified. And I got to tell you something, my friends. Is that Southwest Building or is that Northwest Building?
It's South.
Southwest? Okay. No, that's the Northwest Building, I believe. Or is that Southwest?
It said S.
Oh, okay.
S108.
All right, gotcha. But we got so many students on campus, 2,500, 40 classroom upgrades. Will this help the environment, would you say?
everything's going to help the environment there. You know, it's the old test of the light test. If you go into an office and just change the light bulbs, the mood brightens, right? And so,
Okay.
yes, I would tell you yes. And it's incredible what they've got going on here. The buildings that they've built are incredible. That is the South Building.
Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. I didn't have my glasses on. I didn't see the S there. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead with Brooke Ashjian.
Hi, I agree with your guest there that most of the problem starts with the parents lacking of backing up the child at home, and you know, poverty. You know, these kids are single parents, or their mom's hooked on drugs or whatever have you, and these kids, you know, they have no choice but to go to work and sometimes help out, you know, to maintain the household.
Yep.
And education has to suffer. I'm sorry, but you know, that's just what the way the world is going right now. Another thing is that I believe most of these kids just only want to go to school. So I was wondering, do you guys have like a military school program in your Fresno district there in the north side? I think maybe that would help out because, you know, they show the kids, you know, like after they graduate school, maybe they could get into the military system and show them that the world is bigger and better than what they're thinking. You know, it's just they're closed down selling drugs in the corner. You know, maybe we could show them that there's a worldwide system in place that they could probably get into.
Okay. Thank you.
We actually have JROTC, JROTC at Fresno High. We have it at, I believe we have it at McLean. I think we have it at a couple other schools. And we have it at Duncan. And we have an incredible program. So what he's talking about, we have that in different areas, and it's very effective.
All right. Caller, hello, caller?
Yep.
Hi, you're on the air with Brooke Ashjian. Go ahead.
Hi, Brooke. Thank you for coming on the show today. Very interesting topic. I got a really quick question. You know, being that you are of Armenian descent and in the position that you are in the school district, is there any chance that you may be ever considering looking at introducing, I know other school districts have, and if it's already there, then please by all means tell me, but the curriculum about the Armenian genocide, which has been left out of a lot of history books, and I think several school districts in the country have started to adopt that and introduce that. So I take my answer over there. Just curious where you stand on that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
So
we both saw The Promise, the movie, obviously.
Absolutely. And I've served on the Armenian Cemetery Funeral Board, Cemetery Board for 10 plus years, and so my great grandmother came through the Armenian genocide. Very emotional thing for me, and absolutely, do we need more of it? 100%. I mean,
should it be part of the curriculum? It's part of history.
It absolutely should be. I was just in D.C. A couple months ago, and I went through the Jewish Holocaust Museum, and there they have a huge plaque, and it's a quote from Adolf Hitler that says that one of the reasons he was able to annihilate the Jewish people and do the horrific things that he did to them was, he said, does anybody even remember the Armenians? Because he said, big deal. I mean, they already did it once. Why not just do it again? And so any genocide that goes on, this week we have there's going to be there was a Greek genocide that most people don't know about.
They were living alongside the Armenians, many of them.
Absolutely,
Syrians
terrible.
Too.
The Syrians that are happening today, what's happening there within their own, anywhere, anytime, it's unacceptable.
Right.
But it should definitely be part of the curriculum. Yes.
This coming Friday, I believe, at Fresno City Hall.
Yes.
Paul Dictos was a guest here just not long ago. He was talking about that. We'll have more on the other side of the break. A quick break here from Thomas Casagrande. We'll hear from him, 2020 Optometrics.
The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance. Enjoy generous-sized cooktops and saute or simmer with ease, while true convection ovens offer even baking and juicy roasting perfection. Foods stay their freshest in spacious refrigerators with convenient controls and clear filtered ice and water. Easy to clean surfaces reduce fingerprints, and the quietest of dishwashers makes cleanup a snap. The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance.
At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today. Back here on the program, roll a videotape. You heard the principal out at Bullard High School talk both about the amphitheater and the Quad Center. That is the amphitheater right there, Brooke.
Gorgeous.
This has been expanded. It was about a third of this size before, so they completely redid it. That's the staging area right there. And as you look back toward the left, you can see it's kind of a, it looks like a quad area, but it's not a quad area, but that's grassy area along with cement. So this has been expanded. There's a lot more space out there. This campus is going to look a whole lot different. It looks different now to a certain extent.
It's going to be fantastic. The teachers love it. The parents love it. The students love it. It's incredible what has happened there. And
what will this theater be used for?
I don't know.
Music events, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, this is...
Cinco de Mayo events, that type of thing.
Probably. And I want to make this very, very clear that this doing right here is not a Brooke Ashjian doing. I mean, I would love to take credit for this, but this was all Michelle Azadorian, her friends, her connections, and the push of the Bullard people to get that school restored. They did this.
And that's some of the older buildings that you see right there on the screen at Bullard High School. And as you pan to the left here, you'll see the new quad area that Carlos Castillo was talking about. And he talks about it being like kind of a one-of-a-kind in our area. This is the quad, the new quad, where students go through. They have a fountain, although it's not operational right now. And that is in the background there. That's the new Southwest.
That's the North Gym.
That's the North Gym?
The North,
that's
the North building.
One. Okay.
The North
See,
building,
I'm confused about North and South.
Okay.
That's okay. That's all right. You see students, and the students appeared to be following the orders of whatever is in line to go with whatever rules are being applied at the school. There were no outbreaks. There were no students being disrespectful. They were walking to and from class, as I noticed there. But a lot of students. It was crowded there.
We start about 2,700. I think we end up about 2,550. Bullard, I mean, ideal, if you were to ask me what is ideal, I would say we should be down around 2,300 kids on campus.
It's too crowded now.
A little bit. And so what you have, even if you go over to Hoover, which is a mile or 2 miles away, they're only at 1,800. So there certainly could be some shifts that need to happen. Class sizes matter.
What's a class size over at Bullard on average?
We'd like to tell you that the class size is 30 to 31, but I personally don't believe it. I don't know. I'm trying to get that answer. I don't know. And I don't know that the teachers union knows. I just know that we need to get some reduction and some systematic approach of what a proper class size should be.
Yeah, and no one knows why the kids are going there. Why are there so many kids there? Why are there 2,700 as opposed to 18? Just kids want to go there?
It's a great place. The principal is fantastic. His staff is incredible. Our athletics are unmatched, and it's a great place.
Okay, quickly, special education.
Yes.
My daughter was a special needs student, and still is to a certain extent. How important is that to the district, and what are you doing to improve those people that need it?
So what I've called for just recently is a complete forensic analysis of the entire special ed department, and you will start to see that happen. We are going to hire an independent consulting firm to come in and look from head to tail, from the top to the bottom of special ed, what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, what we're doing wrong, how many positions we need, where are we short, where are we fat, and we are going to revamp special ed. Fresno Unified used to be in the top 5 in the nation. I don't know if you know this, John. Top 5 in the nation for special education.
And now you're not serving these children the way you should be?
We do a terrible job.
Because?
Because we do a terrible job. And
Michael Hansen, can we revert back to him?
I'm going to let you leave it at that, but I can tell you that the previous administration did not didn't. You know, there comes a point where teaching is not about a job. Teaching is about passion, and it's about kids. And special education is about passion
So
and
it wasn't
children.
a top priority.
No, it was not.
And now it's going to be? You're going to make sure it is?
I guarantee it.
Okay. Guarantee. Well, you got other board members that have to side with you on this, and they will, huh?
And well, you have new blood on this board, and the new blood on this board is incredible. It's incredible. They love children. They hate red tape. They don't like the way the status quo, and they want a better city. And whereas you had some of the old board members, I mean, you pull in some of the old board members that have been there for a long time on this board. Some of the ones that maybe don't exactly vote with Brooke Ashjian, right? Ask them, what have you done? What have you done on this board? Show me your show. You ask your kids for report cards. Where's the report card? Tell me one thing you've done.
Where's the report card on the board members? Where's the report card on the superintendent? Where's the report card on the teachers? Where's the report card on the whole system?
Absolutely, and we are being accountable. And I'm telling you, John, the tide has changed, and it is changing in a huge way, and Fresno Unified we're no longer gonna be at the bottom. I hate the bottom. I only want to win, and we're gonna win.
But you're one man. You need the other
Well,
people. And the other thing is, I need to ask you, when will that superintendent's job be filled? I know Bob Nelson, I asked you this just a few minutes ago. Is he the guy? You don't know. You got to go through a whole host of candidates. However, when's the job going to be filled? Will it be prior to August?
Yes. I believe
before the beginning of the new school year.
I believe it'll be before the beginning of the school year, whether it's Bob or whether it's a variety of other candidates that are putting their name in the hat. We're going to have a top-notch candidate that loves children and loves Fresno.
All right, my friend, you're under attack by the Fresno Bee. You are under attack, my friend. Take cover. Front page of the Fresno Bee. Let's see the date, April the 25th. That is the headline right there. Put up the full screen. Contracts. California Fair Political Practices Commission added contracts totaling $6 million to Brooke Ashjian's projects tied to alleged conflicts of interest. I'll let you respond.
You
I
know,
I'm yelling, but I'll let you respond.
It's a
Hang on, caller.
It's a drummed up deal.
Is there a conflict there?
So a conflict means to me that I'm getting paid by somebody to exchange votes. They're going back 10 years and asking people, did I do work for them 10 years ago? And if I did, and they're doing work for Fresno Unified today, they're saying 10 years ago creates a conflict today.
Have you done work for anybody that the school board that you have to deal with since you were elected?
No.
You're talking about these issues that are being brought up back
Correct.
before you were elected to the school board.
So anybody that has come before the school board that I've had a current contract with, I've absolutely said, hey, hands off. We're working with them in Bakersfield, so I can't be a part of this contract.
Right.
But no, we have not profited. And you know, one of your previous callers says you're Armenian. What are you going to do about the Armenian genocide? I am Armenian. If I've profited, I want the money. Give me the money. Show me where I profited. I want the check.
Caller, I got to have you hang on. Put up the other full screen. It's called complaint. You're under attack, my friend. I'm telling you, you're under attack. The complaint alleges that Ashjian, who owns Seal Right Paving, did not fully disclose a slew of businesses as a source of income as required by elected officials. These forms help form transparency and prevent conflicts of interest, my friend.
Not true.
Okay, what's not true about that statement?
Well,
that was printed in the Fresno Bee, by the way.
Well, okay. So
pointing out.
So we fill out forms of people that we've done business with, and what I did was when I was notified that the forms were incomplete, I went back and filled out people that I've done business with. I went back 10 years of clients that I'd done business with. 10 years. Nobody's gone back 10 years. I went back and listed properties. You're supposed to list the properties that you own. I listed properties from the Pacific Ocean to the Rocky Mountains in Utah of stuff, whereas I was only supposed to list, I guess, within a mile or 2 miles of
Caller, hang on a second.
Of Fresno Unified.
Hang on.
I over exposed myself. If
So
you
you
will.
turned in the proper forms, is what you're saying?
100%.
You didn't
This
leave
is
anything out.
John. Let's make it clear. This is retaliation for me shutting down lease back and the players there. The attorney this.
Just go back to Gaston Middle School.
That and many other lease back deals where these guys came in and you know the various players, and I won't name names, but various players have been raping and pillaging Fresno Unified and their kids for so long, and we shut it all down, and now they're mad.
All right, the complaints were spurred on by an investigation filed by Kenneth Mackey, a Merced-based attorney.
Yeah,
He's behind all this.
Well, no, he's not. He's the
a lot of it, though.
He's the puppet for people that are imaginary friends and imaginary clients. I mean, that's just what it is.
I'm going to ask the caller to hang on. I got to put up one more full screen. As I say again for the third time, you are under attack. Lawsuit. Let's put that up. The Fresno Unified School Board District is to pay $160,000 more for renovations to Fresno High School due to alleged conflicts of interest with Lewis C. Nelson and Sons. School board rejected the complaints, lowest bid, and now is suing the school district. Is this true?
So I'm actually glad that they're doing that because there is no conflict of interest between me and Lewis C. Nelson and Sons, and so they're not paying more money. What they did is they filed a suit to put it on hold so where the court could decide, and it's a great move, and I support LC Nelson.
They're
and Sons.
suing the district because they claim that they're not getting their money. They're not getting the contracts.
They're suing the district because they're claiming that the district said that they had a conflict of interest, and they don't.
Right, but they're not getting the money, they're not getting the contracts because of that alleged conflicts of interest, which you're saying does not exist.
So what they're saying is we got to go to court. Is there a conflict of interest? Is there not? And
you're saying there is not.
And they're saying there is not. And my attorneys are saying there is not. So hey, let the judge figure it out.
And once again, I want to clarify for the record, you've done none of the work has been done since you were elected a school board official that reflect even the slightest of conflict of interest.
We have
right?
no conflicts of interest with anybody on those boards. They're claiming it's remote conflict of interest of stuff that's happened many years in the past, and you know
before you were a school board member.
Absolutely,
all right.
100%.
Caller, we're so short on time. I don't want to cut you off, but quickly, 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to know if they're going to put extra security in the classrooms. Are they going to put cameras in the classrooms because they don't have extra security? And in the high schools, they have a lot of pimps going on there, and they don't do nothing about it. Security or police, they don't do nothing about it. It's Edison High School. They have a lot of pimps out there and hoes, right. And you guys should do something about it.
Thank you. Okay, classroom security, cameras, more security, armed guards, what?
So we've actually hired more TSAs. We have police on staff. We've hired more chaplains that are going to be at every elementary school. We've hired more officers to be at intermediate schools. We are doing that. We will never put cameras in classrooms. I don't believe in that. I think it's wrong.
There are cell phone cameras all over the place now.
Exactly, exactly. And so we're very much aware of it. And like you said, it takes 4 board members. I mean, so when the board is ready to react, and I believe they are, we're going to change it. But, you know, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I mean, we've come a very long way in a short amount of time, and you're going to see some huge strides by the end of the year.
Quickly, before we run out of time here, got a minute left. With Hanson gone, a new guy coming on here, or it could be a woman.
Be a woman.
Maybe it'll be a woman.
Absolutely.
Maybe it'll be somebody of color, minority.
Could be.
Maybe we need that.
Maybe.
Okay. Are they looking into that possibly?
Here's what I will tell you is I don't care what color, I don't care what gender. All I care about is quality. I want a qualified candidate that loves kids.
The question is, now that new blood is coming on board, now that you have new school board members, will it change, and how soon?
It's already
the culture.
It's already starting to change, and it was almost immediately that it's starting to change. There's a huge change and a huge shift in culture.
But it'll take time, right?
It's not going to take that long. I don't have that long, John. I'm not that patient.
All right. Brooke Ashjian, I got to say this. You're a stand-up guy.
Thank you.
You're always honest with us, and you know what? You're willing to take the tough questions, my friend.
That's okay.
I appreciate it. Man,
Yep.
you're not afraid of anything. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Brooke Ashjian, he will be back here again on this program at some time in the near future. Tomorrow's program, a business segment. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
If you have a need to promote your business or event, please consider MeTV Fresno for your next campaign. MeTV reaches over 100,000 of your potential customers in the Fresno area every single week. Plus, you can rest assured that your commercial is running in the greatest family-friendly programs of all time.